everyone, welcome to Beauty School Bobbi. Today I am so excited about the guest that I have for you. If you have not met him yet or listened to him yet, you are in for such a treat. Today I'm here with Michael Cole. On Instagram, your bio says Global Educator. Do you know how hard it is to find a title for you? You've done it all.
I just say, I'm somebody that loves hairdressers, and I educate people in the beauty business, and titles are titles.
Yes, well, you've done a little bit of everything. So I wanted to let our audience know you can go back and listen to an interview that we did a little bit ago that will go into like deep dive into your bio, summit salons, how you built your business, and really inspire you in that way of just kind of just knowing the resources of how to get to you. But we're all living in a brand new world. And as we were talking about before we started recording, you are completely online now. So where can everyone follow you? What are you up to these days?
Well, if you Googled Michael Cole Summit, that would take you to 5 or 6 places on the internet. So it would take you to my Instagram community. It would take you to my Facebook community. It would take you to the YouTube community. It would take you to TikTok. And there you'll find an array of content that has been recorded, that's been captured, where I'm engaged in conversations like the one you and I are going to be engaged in today, that help people to collapse time and quicken their success behind the chair. And now on Instagram, the Reels feature on the Michael Cole Instagram Summit page and the TikTok page, we've been able to figure out how to take 30-second sound bites, video bites out of stuff that's been recorded. So, inside of a 30-second experience, it feels like, whoa, I just got a gigantic, it's almost like, a supersized drive-through, one-stop shop. And that's been very, very exciting because it's disciplined me to cut to the chase. 30 seconds is not a lot of time.
It's not, and especially with you, because you've never seen Michael Cole in person. He is a speaker that, you just engage. It's hard to take your eyes off of you, watching you. Having you here in the school was just such a treat. And you have these aha moments, which I'm assuming is kind of what you pulled the 30-second clips of, are those moments of, okay, this clicked here and he really just drove it home. So I'm really excited. I actually haven't checked those out yet, but I'm really excited to see those and to kind of see those. How lucky are we that you get even these 30 seconds of what you do? That's amazing.
Yeah, and these days, I think the last time I was with you, I don't know if we chatted about, I made a major pivot in 2015 or 16 when Facebook launched Facebook Live. I just decided that I had this intuition, this hunch that, I'm going to take advantage of Facebook Live, but I don't want it to be me sending out content to my community. I'm going to begin going into the communities like mine where people have been on using the content that I teach for years, find the ones that are really real time, and today I call them Jedis, and bring them on to a conversation with me whereby I can interview them, and they're really, frankly, they're peers. It's a peer-to-peer, except that they're a respected, regarded peer, and the community that's watching them, many of them are going, whoa. They're real time. I'd love to be where they are. I'm not there yet. The difference between where I am and where they are is, it's got my attention. I really look forward to this conversation because it sounds like they're going to be sharing with Michael Cole their secret sauce, what they're doing. And we've started that a few years ago. I think tonight I'm doing my 200 and I don't know, 67th interview.
My
And
gosh.
and those are the, and there's the 20-minute version recorded of that. Then there's the 5-minute cook down micro learning on YouTube, not YouTube, but IGTV, my Summit page but it's IG. And then the 30-second cooked down inside of Reels and TikTok. So I just love how the digital technologies we're able to curate content so that people that don't have a lot of time, or maybe their attention span, as you know, isn't real long. I'll give you 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, but I got, there's other stuff on their mind.
Yeah. Well, I just have to say, I mean, this industry, even getting to have you, I mean, is so lucky, Michael. And I think just the way that you have been able to highlight and uplift stylists, and for them to, like you said, learn from each other and understand that it's not somebody that's up here. It's like, let me give you all the secrets. No, I've told somebody else the secrets. They're doing it. This is what you can do. And it seems so much more attainable. And I know for me, that's always been such an inspiration. You've been such an inspiration to me, and being somebody that like really just believes in this industry so wholeheartedly and wants everyone to just be so successful. Like, what do you need from me? Like that kind of mentality. I feel like you and I are so similar, and I get just so motivated by seeing you be able to lift these stylists, salon owners, all of that up. I actually, the salon that I go to here in Knoxville, you've had you were actually supposed to have 2 other stylists from the salon. One of the girl that actually does my hair was put on bed rest. So Ashlyn from Whitney Evans Beauty, you interviewed Hannah. And I will tell you, so I enrolled Hannah in beauty school, Hannah Hill, and you had her on your show. And see her with you on your show and like talk to her before she went on there about how she was going to get to be on Michael Cole. Like, it's just such a full circle, like happy moment for me, because I'm like, yes, like he is lifting her up and like, look at her go. So it's just really awesome that you do that. And so now you're saying you've done 200 and some episodes. Think about what that does to the industry when you have people that you're really just like it just makes us all better. And I just think it's so wonderful. And it's so, like I said, this industry is so great to have you, and so lucky to have you. So I just think that, I don't know, there's so much information and so much that you want to share that now more than ever, everyone has more access to you. It's luck. I mean, I'm sure, because you started, what year did you start Summit?
Well, Summit was launched in 2001, so it's coming up to its 20th year now. And that, for people, I look at you and I say, oh wow, a younger millennial, and now we've got zennials, right? So 20 years ago, a zennial would go, okay, but when I can have sitting next to me, someone from, the Whitney Evans brand that is a zennial. I mean, Hannah is on the front end of 20 something.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely loved my experience with her, because there's always the conversation before the conversation where we're getting to know each other and kind of crafting what it is, we think we want to talk about, and you get to know someone. And then there's the actual interview, and there's something surprising and profound about that experience, not just for the viewer, but Hannah would go, yes, I got to hang out with this guy and he's been around a while, but Hannah got so much clearer about not just what she does, but why what she does is working so well for her, so that when she goes back to doing what she does, she's getting more traction on it. And we spent a lot of time, just her and I, once we were kind of prepped, just sharing life experience. And she was asking me questions about, when the Hannahs of the world, they're making a lot of money. I mean, some of these 20, 21, 22, 20 are making more than anyone in their family of origin.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's mom, dad, brother, sister, or any of their peer group, and it can be a little kind of awkward
Yeah.
sometimes. Now, sometimes the family's encouraging about that, and then sometimes people don't know what to make of that. And so we were sharing that with each, not on live, but just how do you walk through that? What's a good way? And because I've navigated that, we were able to chat, and I really got to know her from that. So that's the secret sauce for me. When people say, how do you continue to, quote, reinvent yourself? And I'm going, well, first of all, thank you, but that's not true. I don't reinvent me. I get reinvented by hanging out with Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
And really thinking out loud with her. There's something about that experience that youngs me down, if you will, keeps me fresh, and because it's all digital, I'm a baby boomer, but I'm very much in the digital age. So my chronological age is irrelevant. I'm going to be like 68 this year. So think about that. I'm like a fossil, right, in chronological. But might as well be 16, 17, because I really, really, really understand, get digital, social. I swim in it every day. And so at first, people don't know what to make of me because of my chronological age, but in a real hurry, they're going, no, this he's in the game.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the age we are anymore. It's the age we're in.
I love that. I think that's so wonderful. And I think it's great that you take that as an advantage. You're open-minded to it. Like, that is what's so great about you, is you're open to it. You're not fighting it. You're not saying, no, I'm staying on DVD and I'm not going to change. You're so open to flow with the industry that it just allows you to keep this thing going. I have a question for you. So as we're talking about, moving into this digital age, the information that you're providing, this support of Silas and the conversations that you're having, how different is this than what you started with? Is the message the same? You're just doing it on a different platform? Or how much has your business, how much has the business message changed? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. And I was just having a conversation this morning. It was a Zoom call on a salon coach that is prepping for a salon meeting with a staff of about 45 or 50 on this very, very subject. And she was a bit beside herself because the salons that I work with, many of them are on a system where a hairdresser will come in and kind of work their way up in the pricing level. And for level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up until COVID, if you were a level 3, you were at level 3. You were where you would need to be level 3 and charge a level 3 prices. But there's many people in that salon company now that are level 3 going on level 2. So they've lost some of their business.
Yeah.
And as that begins to multiply, it's becoming unsettling, because it's like, what's going on? Is it COVID? And when you go to people that are in that situation, it's a little bit awkward. And they're saying, I got a lot of people that they're calling and canceling because they've been diagnosed with, and it goes on and on and on. And yet in that same company, there are people that are level 3s getting ready to jump to 4, or level 2 getting ready to jump to 3. And when you start looking at what's going on, you always see the difference. Like right away, the people that are doing well in spite of COVID are digital. They're really, when you go to their Instagram page, you can see, oh my Lord, this page looks like they have their own website that's all their work, and they're engaging. And even if they have 50 to 100 followers, you start looking at their followers, they're all clients. And you go to the level 3 going on 2, assuming they have a page, it's lagging. Let's call it. Let's just say I'll be graceful. And so, and these are people that are lagging that 2 years ago they weren't. They were a 3 going on 3, and they go, well, what is it, COVID? And I go, well, yes, but no. It took us 5 years to get through 2020. So 2020 was a very, very, very long year. But while it took us 5 years to get through it, our business changed 5 years in that 1 year. And so if you're analog, and analog is kind of a geek word for your non-digital, you can be using a best practice that worked really well a year ago, and it's gone. It's gone. If you're back to depending on cards and postcards and handing out cards and talking on the phone, you're in the business of trying to take a tree down with a hammer. It's going to be a long, and you're going, I know, but this worked so well. And I'm going, yes, it did, but it's not. It's done. You have to let it go. And those are people now that are, it's not like they haven't heard that before COVID, but now it's in their face. And they're saying, look, and some of these people are still 20 something or 30 something. So they got another 20, 30 years of career in them. They're saying, look, why don't you just accept the fact that the game changed and allow the game to reinvent you. And starting with your mobile device, you have to trade your Apple 6, for a 10 or 11 or a 12. You have to kill your Instagram page, because I've crawled your Instagram page and you have 200, 300 people on it, and it looks like 300 of those people, you got 5 clients in that 300. Kill it, blow it up, or make it your personal page. You need to start a fresh page for, when I say clients only, your clients. And then if you've got some, family members, let them hang out on it, a couple of BFFs. But when I look at that page, I better see, even if you got 50 people on only 50, 45 of them or 40 of them better be your clients. And if they're not, you shouldn't be embarrassed when you post a picture and you only get 1 like, because that's what you hear all the time. It's embarrassing to post pictures because I do it and I either get no likes or 1 or 2 likes. And I go, I know, I looked at your page. The reason why you only have 2 likes is you only have 2 clients on your darn page. Mm-hmm. So that's the conversation that I'm engaging in, and that's not a classic conversation.
No,
we weren't, and so if you're ready to have it, you can grow. But there's still people that are clinging on to. They're hoping that social media will go away, or it was just a trend, a fad, and it's like, no, you're on a melting iceberg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so
your iceberg is melting. And
I'm sure that when you started, I mean, this wasn't the conversation that you thought you'd be having. I mean, none of us were. I mean, you're writing books, you're going out and speaking, and it's funny that you're mentioning TikTok and all of these things, because you've obviously, I mean, you've got it, which means you're able to get your point across and to get your message across and still be motivational and still do your thing, just in a different way. And it's the same thing for hairstylists. So, I mean, I think that's great advice, but it's funny to see how this,
and it's almost now become an intervention. Mm-hmm. Where the conversation is it can be an intense conversation. And I always preface it with love. I really, really, really do, Bobbi. I say, look, I love you. Honest to God, I love you too much to not have a direct conversation. And I, and so some would call it tough love. And I'm saying, yes, but we're in tough times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So if we're in tough times, it's warranted to have tough love. And I'm not being mean to you. I'm just not letting you get away with your explanations for why you don't want to learn this and let go of something that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Is there an equivalent to this that you can remember when you started? Was there something that when you started, what was the tough conversation that you were having, or what's something that you can kind of compare it to that you were trying to get rid of? You know, I know that in this time that you've been in this industry, you've fought these battles before. You've had these hard talks. Do you remember anything that has stuck out, like that was this large, or this the
Oh,
thing that
sure.
people
Oh, yeah.
clung to?
Yeah. Yeah. When you've been around as long as I have, the fighting tooth and nail to convince salon owners to computerize the front desk, to
Oh my
get
goodness.
off of man. That it's just and the fights and the oh, I don't like that. It's just, and I'm afraid that the computer's going to shut down and all my information. And then from there it was, and that was just putting in using it as a cash register. And then when the automated booking, computerized booking, where actually your book is computerized. Oh my God! We can't. They were in paper books, and they had all these excuses. If I have it in my paper book and the computer goes down, I've lost all those appointments. And so, and now it's
Yeah.
and now it's now it's online booking. I'm trying to say you got to go online booking. You oh my God, these people, they're booking and they shouldn't even have what they're booked for. They book too much time, and then they're no showing me, and it's like, I call it deja vu, right? I've heard this poo before.
Yeah, it's so interesting to hear like how this has all changed. I have a question that I was thinking about when you were kind of talking, or talking about just like thinking, I mean, every time I talk to you or hear you, it's just so like, again, I said this earlier, I just think that like the beauty industry is so lucky to have you. Do you have people from other industries? I mean, anyone can listen to you. Anyone can be motivated by the things that you're posting on Instagram. And yes, it's focused towards the beauty industry, but really, I mean, I think in business in general across the board, how much are you reached out to from other industries, and what do you think the industry is that you get contacted by most?
Yeah, I'm all the time, and I don't take any of the invitations. Now I'm flattered, but I've stopped doing that a few years ago, because as I show up for these talks, I could just feel the energy. First of all, who are you? And how much time have you been in my business? And because I didn't have any experience in that, but I was seen as a motivational speaker.
Okay.
And I tell people, no, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
I'm a mentor. I nudge, push, and sometimes shove people outside of their comfort zone so that they'll and I get away with that because I'm a hairdresser first and everything else after that. So I'm like Grandpa Homie, and so I don't have to qualify myself. So I don't, if you said, when's the last time you took an outside of the industry gig, I'd have to really think about that, because I was spending too much time fighting people's resistance. Heck,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time fighting resistance of the people my homies.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So you can imagine,
this industry is just so different. Friends, family, whoever you have working, like, unless you're in this, it's really hard to understand it. Like, it's really hard to understand the energy and just like the passion, that is here. So I was just wondering if you've ever kind of ventured out and who's reaching out for you. So I had told you that I have a couple questions, and I kind of want to get into this to speak directly to beauty school students. So one of the questions that I got was, what advice do you have? And I assume that this means, kind of under these circumstances, but I think that this is a normal feeling from beauty school students always. But what advice do you have for a student that is about to jump into the industry, is feeling a little nervous, feeling a little not unprepared in a way that they're not ready for it, but maybe they just don't have that confidence yet to say, I'm going into the salon. I've had these as a beauty school student, you have instructors around you. You have people that are there to help. And even though they're going to have that in the salon, if you end up at the right salon, you will have that as well. What advice do you have for someone that's feeling a little nervous about going into this industry right now?
Well, I'm going to assume that your typical person that's about to enter into the industry and enroll in your school is 17, 18, 19. I'm either on my way through high school or on the back end. I've looked at this. I'm nervous about it primarily because it's change. I'm about to step out into beginning to create a life for myself, starting with a post secondary education. And I would say, well, can I take a peek at what you've been like till now? Like, what is it that and all I need to do is either ask them for their mobile or ask them can I have your Instagram handle or whatever. And if I can see it's like, wow, like you were on Instagram when you were 13 or 12 or 11, and you have got some amazing content on your Instagram page. It's not hair. You were painting, you were in art class and you got all of this. So your canvas, was a board. Or your canvas, you were taking pictures. If you go to hair school, one of the things you're going to learn is how to paint on a different canvas called hair. And if what I think is you got going on is what you have going on, wow, you're going to be slingshot right into. And let me introduce you to a few people like you that are not real far ahead. They're like a year ahead of you. And then you have a conversation with them. And if you want to I'll even tell you what to plug into in an interview that I've done and to see, can you identify with them? Can you relate to them? How close do you look the way they look? And usually after that, they're going, whoa, those, oh my God, ahas, those blinding flashes of the obvious, and then they're in. All of a sudden they're okay. Let's go. The other thing that restricts young people is sometimes parents they've been predisposed as to what they want for their son or their daughter. So mom is in medicine and dad is in accounting and college, and so there's some real tension there because you're going against your parents' wishes, and you see that. I'm sure you see that all the time, Bobbi.
It's literally
right?
why I started this podcast, because I was so sick of sitting with parents and like them not understanding how amazing this industry is, how successful. So I'm like, I want to talk to everyone that's successful in the industry. So literally today, right before I had this interview, I was meeting with a family and I said, go listen to this person, this person, this person, because you need to understand what she's about to jump into, and even though this was an example of like the mom was a teacher, the dad was in business, something. And exactly, I'm like, you have to understand that this is so different, but not that she will be unsuccessful, different than what you know.
Right.
And so that's exactly,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of this.
Oh, I've sent mom and dad to salons in their community that I know of so that you could talk to not only the owner of the salon, but people in the salon that are the age of your daughter, and they're very transparent. Ask them what their income is, ask them, and you'll find that there's many, many people that are at places that are equal to or beyond what you think someone should be with a 4-year or even a 6-year degree. Yeah. So a lot of times it's somebody is just misinformed or uninformed.
Yeah.
And I've had many times where a mom will have a change of heart, especially a single mom, and she'll say to her daughter, Tiffany, I'm gonna let you do this, but you have to promise to buy me a car. And
Which
you
is
know, the minute,
possible and not that far out of
oh,
beauty school. Like, it's not that long.
yeah,
You're coming out with less debt. You know, you're coming out a little more ahead of the game too. And like you said, like the Hannah Hills of the world, you know, like we've got, luckily, so many success stories, so many students, graduates that I could name that are in that position. And it's my favorite thing. And what I love is when I get to meet with the parent in admissions, and you know, you have to like twist their arm a little bit. Then at graduation, getting to see them, you know, watch their child graduate and really see the difference of what, you know, and now they're all like, wow, I can't wait. She's loved it. She's done so good. I mean, it's all of that is just so wonderful. And if you're listening, you know, I think it's important to
yeah,
say that that's kind of, I think that now it's changing. I will definitely say in admissions, I'm facing this a lot less than I used to. So I've been doing this 8 years now. I will say there's a lot less resistance than there used to be. It's still there. And I think it's just a healthy conversation. And I think it's you know, you'll prove them wrong.
right.
That's what I always tell them.
Well, yes, but you're an exception to the rule, and the communities that you are in and that I'm in are supreme exceptions to the rule. So it doesn't surprise me where families of origin would be predisposed to something so much more less than the opportunities. We're just, you know, we kind of fly at a higher altitude than I would call your typical school, your typical salon, your typical graduate. And I don't say that with grandiosity. I say it with gratitude, but I also say it because it's true.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's something special happening here for sure. So the second question that I have is, I got this actually from it was funny. I put on my Instagram story last night, you know, send me questions. And one that I got surprisingly came from a stylist that is extremely successful in this area, and wanted to know what advice you have for staying motivated right now, these times. Is it different than normal, or is it, you know, how to keep pushing through, coming in and working with mass? I think our industry specifically is so, like, we're huggers, we're lovers, like we are, like, we want to, like, we're touchy, we're feely, and that's been taken away from us. And so I just think that that's probably what a lot of the questions that I got were, how do I stay motivated? How do I stay connected, you know, with my clients? How can I still be my best during this time? What do you tell people?
Right. Well, again, you're going to, you know, when you talk to me, you're going to get my answer. And there was a conversation that I really had my hands around 20 years ago. And for whatever reasons, I kind of moved away from it. And 20 years ago, we called it wealth building. It's just not what you make, but what you're doing with what you make. And that went away. And 4 or 5 months ago, I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yes, I have.
I just had this hunch, the Behind the Chair Millionaire, best practices of millionaire stylists. I had never called it that before. I'd never been that, I'd never come out of the closet to that degree, and it wasn't, you know, stop getting by, start getting rich. It wasn't, you know, the 3 steps to what, it was like, no, did you know that with the right plan in a relatively short period of time, you could develop a worth of value of 7 figures. That's the infamous, you know, you're a millionaire when I take what you own and subtract what you owe, whatever that difference is, whether it's a 5-figure, 6-figure, that you're 7 figures, you're in the land of milk and honey. You're technically a millionaire. And I remember I was at 25, 26 years old, I was behind a chair, and my first teacher said, set a goal. And I went, well, this is kind of embarrassing. Because I know I can't do it, I'd like to be a millionaire. The idea that I could be worth $1 million, because I grew up impoverished. And he said, let's go. And I said, what do you mean, let's go? Let's set it for a goal. It's possible, set it. And I immediately I didn't get excited. I went, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then he made it real safe. He just said, Michael, let's set the goal. If you don't hit the goal, you're probably going to end up in a much better place than if you didn't have the goal. And I went, oh, well, to make a long story less long, I say this with gratitude and humility that I was able to cross that Rubicon many years ago. And there's a number of hairdressers that have crossed that Rubicon. And there's a number of hairdressers like your friend that's saying, how do you stay motivated? They're along with income, they're spending less than they make. They're saving their money consistently, persistently. They're paying down their debt so that at 23, 24, 25 years old, wow, all of my debt is paid off, and the only debt I have left is the mortgage on my home. And I've been contributing to a 401 and IRA or whatever, and I've got a 6-figure income, that the equity in my home and my savings account equals $100,000 or more. And I have an app, a calculator to go, oh, do you know that if you continue to do this, you're going to, and you don't have setbacks, you're going to be there at 32. What? If you get on this and it gives you something new to work on,
yeah.
Now, because you can get there even sooner if you're able to dial up your income more, keep your spending. So all of a sudden somebody is saying, I'm a Jedi, what's next? And I'm going, well, why don't you add this little baby to now that I've got high income, I want to be a millionaire. To my surprise and delight, they're going, I'm in. You had me at hello. Take me to the land of milk and honey. So now I'm bringing people on my program, my lives that are there, so that more and more people can see that Michael Cole is not making this up. He doesn't speak with forked tongue. He's telling us the truth.
Yeah. What's your response been in the community, in the comment section, in the response? Like, what messages have you gotten? What's happening with this?
Oh, people are going, first of all, they're surprised. It's one of those ahas. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I didn't know, I'm excited. I have a lot of salon owners now that are saying, what can I do to support this? Because to the degree that I support it, people will stay with my brand. They won't leave. Or leave as quickly. So I'm going, gee, if you had do you have any kind of matching? First of all, do you have a 401 for your people? Do you have any kind of matching? Do you, where all of a sudden now you're helping them to grow something it looks like it's independent of your business, but they're going to be more motivated, because it's like, gee, if you earned an extra 10 grand a year, you could cut 3 or 4 years off of how long it's going to take you. So it's a new conversation that a lot of people now are interested in having, because they can kind of see that it's a conversation that's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, I think it's never too early to start watching this. I mean, I hope if there are B school students that are watching, listening, that they will check this out, because I think that the sooner, man, isn't it easy, like as we get older, to say, like, had I known, if I could have just started then, when we make these like grown-up decisions and these grown-up choices and start going through, like, if I just would have started when I was 20, look where I would have been. So I think that you have to be hearing that. Yes. Constantly.
Bobbi, we were talking about Hannah, and Hannah is in a 6-figure W-2.
Yep.
And that's a lot of money for 20-something.
Yeah.
And when you come from having nothing to having something large, she's now, it's like, okay, I new car and I want a home, and it's like, wonderful. Do that, but don't wait to become a millionaire. If you started at 2021, you probably could be there in your early 30s. And if you think you're having fun now, Wait until you get there, especially when you've got 30 more years of career in you and you're already rich. You're already financially independent. And so this is a new value proposition to zennials. And zennials are like saying, you had me at hello.
Mm-hmm.
You pay attention to what you tell me to do because I'm going to do it. I want to go to the promised land.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome. I mean, I'm just so excited, like I said, to have this available to our students and for them to be able to have as much access to you as they can. I'm sure that there are people that are just binge watching. I'm going to check you out on Reels as soon as I get off of this. I'm so excited to see it, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people that once they get this, and like you said, it's those aha moments, I bet they're just, so excited for more and more and more with you.
Yeah, I call it the 4-rule millionaire mindset. Give yourself a raise, which is you control your income, dial up your, pay yourself first, meaning you should be taking the first 5-10% of everything you make, and you invest, you save and invest that. Don't wait to pay all your bills to see what you have left. You save first and you figure out how to live on the rest. And they'll go, well, I can't afford to do both. Well, then you need to go back and reread rule number 1. You need to give yourself a raise.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, that's right. I can give myself a raise. I can, and then, okay, great. And then as you're saving your money, you need to pay down your debt. Well, do you think I should pay down my debt before I save my money? No, do both at the same time. Well, but I don't have enough money to do that. You need to go back and reread rule number 1. And don't tell me that you don't know how to give yourself a raise because you graduated from Tennessee, right? School of Beauty, and you're on your. So please don't. Maybe you need to review your notes or something. But you can. I know. We know you can give yourself a raise. Up till now, you just didn't have a potent enough reason. And then the 4th rule is always, always, always spend less than you make. If you don't spend less than you make, you won't have money to save or pay down on your debt. Spending less than you make is the first giant step to becoming a millionaire.
Yep.
If you're spending what you make or more than you make, you're going to be, I call it broke as a joke for the rest of your life. You're just going to be, you're going to have a job, J-O-B, just over broke, because you spend what you make.
Yeah.
And on a typical week, you spend more than you make and you use credit cards to subsidize that difference. That's why you have $5,000, $10,000 in credit card debt today, is because you haven't managed the beast, the spending beast. So anyway, Bobbi, you got me all stoked up. You got me all fired up here.
I'm just so excited. I mean, I think that this wasn't something that was given to beauty school students before. This wasn't something that was talked about. So to really be able to give this to stylists, maybe not even just recent graduates. I mean, this information is valuable literally for anybody, but I think that young stylists having access to this, man, what is going to happen in 5 years, 10 years, and what perception of the industry when other people in other industries are seeing this, and seeing this growth, what is it going to do? It's so exciting for me. I just can't wait to see it grow. But it's awesome to see how other people, the perception of the industry, again, is going to change. When they see this being a career that is not only able to provide you a great life, but that makes you so happy. It goes back to the number one thing I love about this industry is people are happy. People are happy doing this. Yeah. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations. You happen to make a choice in a career where you do have way more control on your income than if you would have chosen other careers.
Yeah.
And number 2, we happen to be in an era for your career called the digital age, and the digital age and the beauty business are like conjoined twins.
Yes.
That that the digital age was made for someone that's behind the chair and wants to be rich and terribly happy. It has crushed time. So you can now be at $100,000 a year in a W-2 by your second or third year. It used to take, if you were really on your game, 6-7 years. Now you're there in 2.
Yeah. Rich and terribly happy is going to be like my new, like every day, like I'm manifesting it, rich and terribly happy.
Yeah. I tell all my graduates, I knew you before you were rich and terribly happy. I knew you when you were eating wiener water soup.
Oh, I love that, Michael. Thank you so much. I just can't, I hope that everyone, not having you in person, your energy still comes across this screen. So I'm just so thankful for you. You're such an inspiration for so many people. And I'm just, again, we're just so lucky to have you in this industry, and I'm going to keep following everything you're doing. I can't wait.
I love working with you, Bobbi Powell. I love you, the person I'm working with. I love your people. I love your graduates. It's so much, it's so inspiring to watch people like you and your people grow.
Yeah.
It's just that it continues to fuel my soul. So
thank
you very much.
In that way, we're very energized by other people's success and happiness in those moments. So I'm really excited. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see, what's next, what's in store for us. So
stay well, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all so much for watching today, and thank you to Michael Cole. Thank you for the inspiration that you are in this industry, and I am so excited to share these tips with you. Make sure you check out Michael Cole on all of his social media platforms, and don't forget to follow me at Beauty School Bobbi. Until next time, bye.